option. But it is good for the learning process, she says. And she talks about how students, I think, so what she describes, I believe, is if you quiz students throughout the course in the learning process, and not only to determine what they know, but to help them learn things, like if you assign them a reading and quiz them on it, they're more apt to retain that information. So maybe you don't want to put a midterm and a final exam in your course that are all multiple choice and carry 50% of the grade, but maybe you populate your course with quizzes, which I would show you how to do right now. Let's see, do I need to go? I think I might do it. This is a you think I can log out and log back in? Session is finished. Okay. Try to see this. So, one thing, you may know this by now, but I don't know if it's better than it was, but one thing we figured out is it's kind of hard to log out and log back in without shutting the browser down. But it did, so maybe it's improved. So I'm logged in now. I'm just going to go into my sandbox here, take you through the process of building a quiz. So the quiz is just a tool, it's just a tool that builds exams and quizzes, call your quiz. The fact that the tool is called quiz does not mean that it's not a heavy hitter in your on the final exam. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to call this Bootcamp 15 final exam. All right. So you can come in here and put instructions in here and put information on the exam, like you have, etc. Put information in there about it. You can come down here and say what you want this to be. We're going to make this a graded quiz. That's the default. But you can also survey your students through LAB courses, and I think you can make that an anonymous survey. Yes. Yeah. So we're going to do a graded. You can put it in an assignment group. I'll just quickly touch on that. You can create. There may be other reasons to have assignment groups, but the only reason, or the main reason that I see is if you want to do weighted percentages. If you want to make your final exam worth 25% of the grade, then you put it in its own group and make that group 25. But you can group things by percentage that you want them to carry in your course. You can shuffle the answers. So if it's a multiple choice test, everyone will get a different order. A, B, C, D, and E will be different. But if you have A and B as an answer, A and B, or C and D, or all of the above, it doesn't work. Because all of the above could end up at the top. So keep that in mind, and then we can put time. And let's see. Oh, if you check, okay, so I'm not going to check allow multiple attempts. I think that if you want to use this just as a tool for students to measure what they learned from reading, you can do that. You can allow multiple attempts, they can jump back in, right? And I'm not going to do that today because I want to show you something. And then you can let students work, and then the minute they submit it, so unless you mute the assignment in the grade book, the minute they submit it, they can essentially go in there and see how they did. And this way they can see their responses, and they can see the ones they got wrong, and they might be able to deduce what the right answer is if they got it wrong, but you can also let them see what the right answers are. You can also, if you check only once after each attempt, and this might be useful to some of you, So if you have a proctored exam, let's say you have a distance course and it's a proctored exam, I believe, I think I tested this a while back, but if you check only once after each attempt, then that means they can look at the answers to the quiz when they finish. They can look at that in front of the proctor. So they can sort of assess how they did and look at that right in front of the proctor, but they can't go home then and look at it and print it off, sell it. They can only see it once, and they can see it in front of the proctor if you only let them. So that could be useful. Yes?
If you don't check students see their but you want them to see it after a period of time that it's finished, what choice? I mean, you don't want them to see it right away.
So I don't know if you can check that after. I think you can check that and mute the assignment grade until you.
But they'll still see the answer.
No, when you check it, there's an option.
You're going to check it. Let the student know that.
Let students see it, right? Yeah.
They don't.
Let's see.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you can set dates on the correct. So on the correct answers, you can set dates. I mean, but not on. You don't have that option just on that. Yes, thank you. So you can show one question at a time if you want, and then you can lock them if you want, so they can't go back to one. You got to answer it before they move on. You can require a password. You want to really put up some barriers here. You can filter the IP addresses, but I provide. Require response lockdown browser. So this, I want to talk just a little bit about this. So response lockdown browsers features built into Canvas, I think, or we pay extra for this part of Canvas. And I think it's going to improve a little bit. It's not going to really improve in the protection that it provides because it just does what it does. It doesn't allow you into other browsers and but it can't stop you from using your phone. It can't stop you from using another laptop. So the most it can probably do is help a product. Or if you have a tight time limit on your exam and they don't really have time to go searching for every answer, that might help in that sense. But basically it locks them into the exam. And what's improving about this is, and I haven't heard a lot, I don't know if people are not using it or if the bugs are kind of working on. Anybody here use Lockdown Browser regularly? Do you have a problem every exam, or does it seem to work?
I used it last semester, and there were some students that it was loading at the top, but it
Yeah, no problems with it.
But it was kind of like, we're at home, outside of there, we had trouble, if we were there, we had trouble. So it kind of hit and miss if they were on, but if they're on.
Works fine. So some may be real picky about the systems or about, what plugins you have in your
I think it's a couple of times.
Okay.
It wasn't that big.
Okay, well, I know our first semester was a nightmare. The first semester we were in Canvas. I'm thinking of one particular teacher in one particular class, and I felt bad for her. But I think people are using it, and I'm not hearing a lot. Once in a while there's somebody having a hard time with it, but not very often. But Response Lockdown Browser is moving from an Internet Explorer based. So Response Lockdown Browser is its own browser, right? It just limits you to this exam. And so it's moving from an Internet Explorer based browser code or something, I forget my use of language, to a Chrome, to the same code that Chrome uses, and called Chromium. And they're beta testing that right now, and we got an offer to be part of that beta test. and we were all going to jump on it, but we were way too late to get that software installed on to make sure that our computers could all run it on campus and so forth. Now that I think about it, that may not be an issue. It may be, I don't know, it may already be there. It runs Chrome. But in any case, again, I don't know a lot about the computer science of this, but my sense is that something that's based on the same thing Chrome is based on is going to work better on more systems than something based on what Internet Explorer works on. So my hope is that those problems that you ran into off campus, that those, once we move to this Chrome option, and I don't know when that'll be, if that's this fall of 2016 or spring, I don't know when that can be, but hopefully that will smooth out the bugs that are there now, or at least improve some. Lockdown browser?
Yeah.
It locks you out of everything on your computer except the examiner.
And then required to.
That means that lockdown browser is also required to go into the gradebook and view those things that you check. To view your responses and the correct answers. That means lockdown browser requires you have to have lockdown browser to view the results of the quiz as well. So it would prevent you from printing it off. Again, it wouldn't prevent you from photographing it with your camera. I mean, so it's still limited in what it can do, but in order to go into gradebook and see the results, you have to have lockdown browser. I'm going to check that too. I don't know what's. And then we can set dates. Usually in outreach courses, if you have a fully online exam with proctored exam, we ask that you make it available for a day or two, because if it's a fully online course and the students aren't committed to your course for a time, like Thursdays at 6 o'clock, they need a little flexibility in trying to schedule a proctor and a computer to take that. I think a day minimum, maybe two. If they're just unavailable one day, two maybe is a solution. So let's see, I'll set this up here. I'll open this. First, there's some dates, and that probably needs us to. So those are kind of the parameters. We can set up a few questions here.
Another the answers are different. They get their score. You got 8 out of 10.
I think they get a score when they submit.
No matter what.
I think so. But they can't see any of the answers. They don't know what they got wrong or right. That's something. Okay, so questions. And this is pretty straightforward here. You can find a question. Other. And so finally, that's it. So we'll make that. So you can do that. You can do all those questions like that. You can do question groups. And link. So for example, we can link this to a question bank, and I have question banks. Here's one with 0 questions. Here's one with 3. I'll select that and say I want 10 questions worth. And we figured out, there's been a number of things we figured out with this that I think one of them is, Jenny is one of them is that if your questions aren't ready to go, and if you edit them after you added them to the exam, it doesn't pick up the modified question. So you just have to make sure your questions in your banks are ready to go. Start putting them into the exam.
You can modify the bank itself, but not,
It doesn't carry over, though, does it?
if you modify it in the bank, it does.
It does. It carries over to the exam if you add it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
But you
okay,
can't
does.
modify the exam and have it carry
Oh,
over.
yeah. Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. I was thinking, yeah, I didn't know that. So that's good news. So if you modify the question in the bank, then it will carry over. Check that. And then, and a couple other things about question banks is sometimes publishers will have a bank of questions that you can put in there, like 300 questions or something like that. And if they're in the right format, and I think most often they are, it's QTI. If they're QTI files, then you can put them in there. That stands for Question Test Interoperability. And I have not ever done this. I have not done this. But, well, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself here. So you can do that with the software Respondus, which University of Wyoming has a site license. So Respondus will allow you to do this. Respondus, I think it's called Respondus 4.0. If you go to the IT website and search for Respondus, or if you go to our WYO courses support page, which is uwyo.edu/WYO-courses, I think there's information there about Respondus. And you have to tell IT who you are, and then they say, okay, here you go, download it, and install it. And another sort of catch about Respondus is that, and I don't think they've changed this, although they might be working on it, there's not a Mac version. So if you don't have parallels on your Mac, if you don't have a PC option on there, you have to put a sub-campus computer. But if you're importing a bunch of banks of 300 questions, it might be worth it to find another computer and try to do that. So, and then again, these publishers will give you these banks of questions you can put in there, and then you can pull, I want 10 questions out of this bank, and then everyone will have a different set of 10 questions. And again, I told you I haven't done that before, but I had a teacher email me who wanted to do this because I ignorantly told them in one of these sessions that they could do that. And then they emailed me and said, hey, my publisher has this bank and this question bank, and they sent me some file. I opened the file and it made absolutely no sense to me. And there was some, and she was trying, they gave her some instructions and she was trying to upload it and it wouldn't work. So she said, well, just a minute, let me contact her again. Well, they sent her the wrong instructions. And so when they sent her the correct instructions, she emailed me about 10 minutes later and said, I got this figured out, it works great. So it works great, you guys. I've not seen it work. So that's a good way to get test question banks. I think, and I'm guessing most of them are in that form. So you can also find questions from question banks. So I can go choose this question bank and I can check it. So select all. So that's how you build questions. And these other, yes.
I do. I think it's bug that I can cover with technical. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't want to take up time on some questions actually.
Yes. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay. Well, because when I'm setting up my assignment, I'll have different assignments. So I have my attendance, my exams, and so I have exam 1, exam 2, or whatever, and each of those exams, it has to come down. How do you categorize or categorize the quiz? But categorize the quiz, it wants me to it wants me to set up
To go through this process.
Right. So the administration in class paper form. You see what I'm saying? So I set it up as a category. It is a quiz because I'm trying to get the quiz in my grade book, but it's not an online quiz. It's a class quiz.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Here's what.
Keep trying. Okay.
So I just leave this blank. It's blank. It's fine. There's nothing in there. So you can click on it. There's nothing class, like, there's nothing to do, so they realize, oh, in class. Okay. No problem. Except this past semester, I taught a large survey class, and I had 2 students after the final exam going to check their grade on the final exam, from the class grade. And they went and clicked on this link, right? So even though I had already entered their grade, they clicked on the link, did that, and thought that online quiz. And because there was a whatever, it converted their scores to 0.
Oh, what you might want to do, so what I would suggest you do is just, and maybe practice, but I would just create an assignment.
And that's what
call
I
it
do from now
quiz,
on. To be
and then
safe.
manually enter the grade and say no submission.
Right, and that's what I do from now on, but so that means everything in my class has no differentiation. Then to say, you know, oh, this is and I'll give you find it just when they're looking through how I got that on fire. So I just wanted to let you know that I took you from 0. Like,
So one other option actually would be pretty quick with grammar of minutes on some random day. So yeah, so it opens at 12 and closes at 1 a.m. Yeah, and then it's there.
and I think during class time, and then they would never have to.
Go ahead.
But if you're not giving any actual quizzes online, why can't you just take the quiz thing in the menu and hide it?
Yeah.
Move it down so they don't even see this.
Well, but I want them to see that it is an exam, so they can see how the course is structured.
But
But if you call the assignment exam, don't they know it's an exam?
Yeah, but then exams that actually categorize assignment or assignment.
yeah, I see.
What about it? If they want to do so then I would see the course structure, not the curriculum. Well, because the curriculum, they would see. I just like standard that way. Yeah.
Or create assignment.
Or assignment.
So when they click on assignments, they
I
say,
do, I have time.
and you have one called quizzes or exams.
Exam. Yeah, I have one called exam.
And then you put those,
I put quiz 1 or exam 1, 2, 4, and then I categorize them as a quiz. I mean, you have assignment, you have quiz, you have whatever else. You have quiz, you need assignment.
So you need to categorize.
Well, like on your,
when you create an assignment, it says, what do you want to create?
it's under, yeah.
Right,
so
and you're saying
it's
quiz.
I guess. I don't know.
Here, so let's see.
Let's look at the question.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that's a big one, that's why I just want to.
Yeah. It's hard to make people very good about it.
Okay.
All.
Go ahead.
So these quizzes seem to all be linked to, or needing A, B, C, multiple choice, right?
No, you can do nearly any kind of answer.
Okay,
It just
so,
won't grade it for you. If it's like an essay,
okay,
you would have to grade it yourself.
right, okay, so that's
You have all kinds of options for types of questions.
Okay.
I didn't show you that.
great.
Are gonna throw.
Right, because I just want to do essay questions, but then I grade like a regular test, right? And that's just, it's the same function, right?
I'll give that.
Can you create your own? Yeah. Make your own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes, you totally can. Exactly. And it goes like. Yeah, it does. And then you create a category. That's an advanced topic. But you can't. After my really good webinar session. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, we're seeing from year to year, just make this big long list. Absolutely, yeah. Like, right, just wait, right. I think they should just.
I did. My question was, I would like to create multiple choice questions that involve mathematical notation. And I know that I can use LaTeX in the main thought box, but is there a way to use it within display that?
I think that's a bit.
Well, yeah,
way to display rich text at all in the individual. Yeah.
I thought you could, so I knew you explained it.
I think pretty much probably do the ABA stuff.
Right, but I mean, if you click on the answer box, does it give you text option like bold or italics or put it in image?
I don't know why you can't.
Oh,
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go.
that's all.
So click the pencil. That was a good question. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but you should be able to put images certainly.
That'd be fun.
Any other questions? I think I've imposed way upon myself.
All right,
All right. Thank you.
ready. Okay, so I know everybody's tired and you're all ready to go home, but you're going to be stoked on this because this is the best part of wild courses. You're going to do one thing in wild courses. This is the one. Because, first of all, I'll start by saying that the students, I don't know if you're aware, but the students have this thing called Wild Voice. And it's a place for them that the SUW set up so that students could, any student could put a thing in there and bring up a topic that they wanted to talk about, or they wanted to have discussed, or whatever. And what happens is somebody brings a topic like don't close beer gardens, for example. And then students go and they vote as to whether they want that topic to go up. And as it goes higher up the thing, if it gets high enough, then the SUW tries to do something about it. So above, bring back the beer gardens, or don't close beer gardens, I think this is very important. The students wanted to have all teachers or all professors put their grade in wild courses. This was up at the top of this list for like a year. It's gone now because the SUW determined that they could not actually make the faculty put their grade in wild courses, so they marked it as resolved or as not going to happen. So, but I think that tells you something about what about the students and what they actually like to see. They want to know their grades. They want to know how they're doing. That's very important to them. And wild courses is awesome for that, right? It enables you to post your grade. We talk a lot about, their grades and just in passing, I guess, about the grade book and how things are rated in the grade book and how things get into the grade book and can they see, are they seeing a quiz, are they seeing an assignment? And wild courses is awesome with that. And so even if you're not using wild courses in a manner that's really rich and you're not using a lot of things, you still might want to keep your grade book in there. It's helpful to you and the students. And I'll make a plug that at some point here, we've been working on it, we're going to make it so that at the end of the semester, if you're using the grade book and you're doing a good job, you can say, click a button and it'll say, send my grades to WildWeb. That's pretty cool, right? As opposed to drop down to every student. Yeah, see, I think this is worth it. So you might get on the bandwagon now when you do wild courses for your grades so that you can do that. What I'm going to teach you is, really quickly, is Speedgrader. And this was the thing that when I started teaching, when we first got wild courses, and we were part of doing the first pilot, Speedgrader was like, I couldn't believe how awesome it was. It was so amazing. And what it enables you, how many of you have used Speedgrader? Yeah, okay, most of you, or not most of you, a chunk of you. So what it enables me to do is actually go through and grade in a really quick way. I know Irene was talking about wanting to be as uniform as possible. It kind of helps you with that as well. And it just makes it super easy to do stuff. So first thing you're going to do is when you log in and get into your class, you're going to notice under this to do. You're going to see over here. You're going to see the easiest way to get into Speedgrader. There's multiple ways to get into Speedgrader, but this is the easiest to do. So during the day, as we've been going, we've had multiple things turned in and as people showed stuff, and these are the things that need to be graded. So this is telling me that these are the assignments that have been turned in that I should grade. So if I want to grade something, I'm going to click on this, and it's going to take me to what is called a Speedgrader. There is a Speedgrader on the iPad app as well. It's not quite a full feature, but it is there. So what we have here is this is our Speedgrader. This allows us to do multiple things. If I decide I can sort or choose a student specifically, I can sort by however I want to sort alphabetically when they submitted it or what the submission status. So these are things I can sort by, so that's easier for me. I can also, back to Renee's concern, hide the student names. So I can get rid of the names entirely and just grade by that if that's what I want to do. So I have those settings, all right? And these are the students. I also can mute the assignment. I've kind of talked about that in passing, but muting the assignment is the cool thing. One reason students love this. The cool thing is that when I grade something, they often get a text immediately, which they love. But you don't necessarily want to do that as you're grading an exam, right? Because the person you graded first and now got their exam score, and this person's sitting right next to them, I don't have mine. And the next thing you know, your email like, I don't have my exam score, I don't know what happened. Like, oh, geez. And also, sometimes you want to go back. I don't know about you, but sometimes you'll start grading and you'll find out later, you're like, I think I'm going to go back to those. And so you don't want to do that after you sit up the grade because you're happy, right? So you can mute it, and that's really important. What happens there is that they know the assignments exist, they can turn stuff in, whatever, but they can't see the grade until I unmute it. And then I can do it all at once, and then if you do this, one thing to do, if you have a class, do this in class, and unmute it in the middle of class, and everyone's going to bing to their phone all at once. And you can see what's happening. So that's a good thing to do. And then also, if you have them turn it in, now, somebody today, can't remember who it was Phineas, was talking about how you could decide what kind of file they turned in, right, using the doc and the docx and stuff. You do that, and you do a Word document, a PDF, an Excel, a PowerPoint. Is that it? I think that's it. You can use this really cool crocodile thing, which allows you to comment on the assignment itself. So this one is uploaded as a PDF, I think, or I don't know what it is. Doesn't really matter. But I can go up here and you see this comment tool. I can click on that, and now I have all kinds of options to comment on this document. So I can go in here and I can comment at a point, an area, a text. So I can go in here and say I want to comment right here, and it'll give me a comment. Okay. Or I can go up here and I say I want to comment on the whole area, so I can grab this whole area, and it'll give me a comment to comment on that. And I can say this is a good font choice. I don't know. How about title? Good title. I can also go in here and I can draw stuff on it, so I can say this is, whatever I want to do with that. I can draw a smiley face if I want. I can do all kinds of stuff. So I can strike through stuff and say this is this spell or this. This is the spell or wrong. I don't know. Anyway, and I can do all that. So I can comment right on the document for them, and they can see all those comments when they're done. So that's a really awesome tool to be able to do. It's much easier to do this, like I said, on all those different file types. So having to turn in paper or something like that, this is a great way to do it because you can just go through and put this information right on the file, and they can do it again.
I've had situations though where students can't spell their comments are all information. And so I went to the lab one day that had an extra of map. There's laptops there, and my students pull up the papers that I back to them with both sidebar comments as well as information. And some of them could just see the comment, and nothing else. They were just sitting there.
And I think that has a lot to do with browsers. I don't know. Did you try browsers? Browsers seem to be computers and different laptops. Yeah, the different browsers seem to be the thing that needs. But we can look into the bugs for that for you and see what that is for sure. Because that's yes, maybe a couple of times.
Well, whether we're just an issue, computers are not working quite properly, and that could have been investigating those. That could have been.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they turn in a draft, so it's time to make comments, they don't address the comments. I'm like,
what's going on? And you have to teach them. You also have to teach them how to view those comments. I mean, I know you did that already.
Well, we went through it.
Yeah, I know you did. You had a glitch, and we should check on that. Because I've not had a lot of people say that, and so I think, did you report? She probably done. Yeah.
Well, it was at the end of the semester. It wasn't much then. Right. It was a situation that just had to kind of draft.
Right.
And I was wondering if it's an ongoing problem, is it fixed? Am I have that problem?
I would hesitantly say you will not have that problem again because you have not been a outcry. You have a lot of that. So my guess is you were having a, but I don't know that. And I'm going to check on that and see if there's any missing. Because there will be, if that is a missing problem, it's going to show up in the document that we have. I'll check that.
The other thing so that's great.
Yeah.
And see if there's a if there's actually a functional problem.
Yeah, and so if you do have that problem, again,
Right.
then maybe what you should do is shoot an email to us and see, because we can go and add the student and see what happens, right? And that might be very helpful, and then we can figure out if that's what that is. Okay, so also in here, we attach the rubric. So here's our rubric. We say use rubrics, and we talk about how to create these, but we haven't talked about how to use them. So in this case, you can see I have the assignment right here. It's helpful if you have a fairly large screen when you're doing this, because it gives you more real estate. But I can just go through and click on these, and you'll see it automatically scores them. And I can give the points. I can say I have 8 of 13. I hit save. Depending on how I set my rubric, it will stick the grade in automatically. So it was 8 of 13 we saw a few minutes ago. Down here you can see that, right? But it didn't put it into the grade up there. I can decide to do that or not. I generally don't, because sometimes there's something else, some other kind of thing that I want to add to that, or something. I might want to give them a half point, or I want to fudge it or something. So I don't, but you can totally, on the rubric setup, you can decide whether you use it for inputting the grade. If you have a really long rubric, you might want to do that. It all depends. And so then, now you see that, and then finally I can add comments. So I can type comments in here, right? Just regular type it. The students get that. But I also have a lot of other options. And this might be an option if you're struggling with writing a lot of comments that they're not getting. Is you can do a couple of things. You can do a media comment. Okay. So I only have a microphone attached to this computer, so I'm going to show you the microphone. But if I want to make an audio comment to my students, then I just click on that. You can see that it should be working. You can see, you can see the little green thing that jumps. That's the recording happening of me. When I'm finished with it, I just click again, and I can play this. Wait, hear me now. Not hearing it. Anyway, and you can hear it say, oh, I didn't like it. It's still loading. I think it's playing, actually. I think it's playing, but it's all right. You can see the idea. I mean, it's not that complicated. You can hear my voice saying it. It's not a big deal. You're not missing that much. And then you can hit save. And if I hit save, then what happens is, really cool, it shows up here. It shows up in its own media player, so they don't have to download anything, they don't have to hook up anything, they just hit play on this, and it starts playing, and it'll tell you the audio feedback. You can do the same thing with video feedback if you want to give video feedback. And I don't have video in here. I can also upload something, so if I didn't want to use an internal rubric for some reason, sometimes they don't want to use the rubric they want to use one external, then they have an Excel or something, you can do that, and you can create it, and you can attach the file, and upload it. So there's lots of options for communicating with your student. When I send a message, when I do any of these things, they will send a message to my student, and they can reply to that message, and they'll come back and give me more, if we have a conversation that's inside of this assignment, attached to this assignment, so it's not confusing what's happening with it. Okay, so that you know exactly what we're talking about. We both know it, and it's not going to anybody else. And then if I want to go to the next student, I can go up and choose a student, or I can just hit the next one and we'll go to the next one. So here's the next student's assignment. I can go through this again. And another thing I can do is I can actually go up here and download it if I actually want to download it. For some reason, I can download it up there. But that is pretty much Speedgrader. And it's an awesome tool. It works really well. Especially if you're doing online submissions. And even if you're doing an on-campus class, it's a great way to have students, instead of having them turn in their papers, and you're walking home with a stack of papers this big, and they're sitting around your room, they're here. And then if I'm sitting outside, if I'm waiting for a meeting, I can grade a paper, or I can grade an assignment on my computer or my iPad or something, and then go on, and it just is always local, so I can always be attached to it. It's very helpful. And it's really useful, I think. And like I said, it was one of the things that was, when I used to do this, I used to give all kinds of audio feedback to my students. And so my whole process prior to Speedgrader was, download the paper, read the paper, give audio feedback, and then audio feedback in Audacity, save that file. I had an external rubric. I would write on the rubric, so then I would have to put my comments on their paper, the rubric, and my audio file, all of their. It was like, this saved me literally hours of the semester. It's amazing. And so I really highly endorse it. And it only, you know, it will have, you don't always have the crocodile, but you always have these tools. You can't always comment on the things when they're returning, but you always have these tools. So you can jump in and use them. Even if everything else crashes and burns, you still have the stuff. Anybody have any questions on this one? This one really doesn't take a lot of extra training because it's really, it works real well. So, you know, pretty much everything you need to know, you now know. Didn't know before. All right, cool. So we are done. And if you have any additional questions, we'll talk to anybody. We'll be sticking around for a while. And please, there'll be some announcements sent out to the course shell that you guys are, or the course group that you're all in, with various things, evolution and TNT lunchboxes and all that stuff. So you'll get all that information. I already sent one out about touch, because I know some people are excited about touch. And we hope to see you at future things. If you have any ideas for future things, I know we should probably do a quizzes one. Learn how to do assignment, or learn how to do whatever it was. All right, thank you very much. Wait, before you go.
You have your questions.